Hey friends, it's Sarah from She's Crafty and She Knows It, and today I'm going to show you how to make faux cement fruit. So I have some fake fruit that I've had for a while, just like this, and we are going to take them, and instead of them being green or yellow, I'm going to paint them to look like cement. So I have some different color paints right here, and I have baking soda, and then of course some paintbrushes and a little dish to mix it in. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to do is mix together the paint and some baking soda to make the paint a little bit thicker. Please ignore my fingernails. I did not paint them before doing a painting project because obviously it makes no sense to paint my nails before I get paint all over them again. So my nails do not look very good today. But what we're gonna do is you can do any color. So I have like this bleached sand that might be good if you have more like taupes or off-whites in your kitchen. My kitchen is very white, so I kind of have this color that's pretty light. It's called pastel taupe. And then I have this color that is just wicker white. So it's much whiter white, if you can kind of see. So any variation of like the neutrals, I might use a little bit of this, but like I said, I don't want it to be too taupe. So we're just gonna start with a little bit and kind of mess around. I'm gonna pour some baking soda in here, kind of mix it together. And so you want it to be thick and a little bit clumpy. Now guys, I'm eyeballing it. I'm not measuring it out. I'm just eyeballing it. My little thing is getting stuck here. I think it could take even more. Okay, here we go. We're getting somewhere now. There we go. We want it a little bit thicker. Okay, we're trying to find the right consistency. There we go. So that was a little bit too thin. We want it kind of like more gummy. It's hard to see on the camera, but it has almost a sandy kind of texture to it. And so that's what you want. I probably should stay away from doing the very bottom because it's gonna sit for a while, but we'll see. I'll go back and do the bottom later. And so I'm gonna brush this on here, and we're gonna do several coats. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the stems. You can leave the stems brown if you want, but I'm just gonna paint the whole thing. Okay, I'm gonna kind of move it to the side and touch up the top and the stem like I said. And move on to the next one. So it's real clumpy. We're gonna let it sit there. I'm gonna grab another one. So like I said, you want kind of this sandy, gritty texture, and we'll do a couple of coats, and we can do different colors if you want to mix some colors together, or do the first layer in more of a white and the second layer in more taupe. Oh! Some of them are a little bit roly-poly, and so when you set them down, they might kind of roll. We'll just let them roll how they want to, and then we can do them on the other side after it dries. So it's just gonna take a few coats to get them good. Okay, so that's the first coat of all of these. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up doing the first coat on the rest of them, and then I'll jump back in when it's time to do the second coat after this coat has dried. Okay, so I have a first coat on all of the pears. You can see it is like a very sloppy first coat. I just kind of brushed it on. I didn't pay attention to what direction I was painting or anything, so we're gonna do a second coat. So the first coat really doesn't matter that much. So go ahead and get a first coat on. Just keep doing paint mixed with baking soda so that it's real chunky. And then once it dries, we'll go ahead and do a second coat. Okay, so all of the paint has dried on this first kind of run through. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and do another coat and see where that gets us. I think I might have ran out of paint of the one I was using. I was using one called Pastel Taupe. And so I'm gonna mix together a little bit, I think a little bit of the white, and this one's called Bleach Sand, and see what color I get. And then obviously add some more baking soda to it, and just go ahead and get going with my second coat. Okay, I finished doing all of the second coat. And so while they're still sitting here, I'm just going to kind of like dab. Some of the spots are kind of wet and there's like a lot of paint clumped together. And so I'm just kind of like dabbing my paintbrush like this. See if it can add some kind of cool texture. So, and then I'm going to let it dry and I'll come back and do one more just like super thin top coat just to add more texture. I think the color is good. All of them look fully coated. So if you can kind of see that, all of them look really coated really well. I think there's plenty of paint on them. It's just a matter of adding a little bit more texture in a second once, well, not in a second. It's just a matter of adding a little bit more texture once they're all done drying. You can see a couple spots, like my hands are super messy, so ignore my fingers. And here, there needs like a little bit more. But I think they look really cool. I think they're gonna look so good in the bread dough bowl that I have on our kitchen island. So I will let them dry and I will be back when these are dry and we'll do one final little touch up. Okay guys, so the second coat is completely dry. I'm gonna go ahead and just touch up. Some of them you can tell have some spots. They're like showing a little bit of the green through. There's just not enough paint. So let's see, like this one has a pretty big spot right over here that needs more paint. So I'm just gonna touch up those spots. And then while I do it, I'm gonna do the brush kind of like this, like I talked about earlier, to make it a little bit more texture. So you can see there's already a lot of texture on these. They look super cool, but we're just gonna add a little bit more texture and then make sure all the spots are covered. After that, I'm gonna let that dry. Whatever texture spots I do, cover up spots I do, I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna paint the bottoms one more time. And that way they can kind of sit sideways while the bottoms are drying. So let me mix up some more paint. Okay guys, they are completely dry now, and all I need to do left, everything else, they're covered, they're textured, they look really good. Just some of the bottoms have a little bit of like paint stuck to them, or maybe you can see through and kind of see some of the dark green from the pear originally. So I'm just gonna go back and repaint the bottoms and then let them kind of rest like that so that the bottoms look good, and then they will be totally done. So I'm gonna mix up some new paint and go ahead and get started with the bottoms. Okay guys, I have finished painting the bottom of the pears. I think they all look really good, and I think they're gonna look so good in the wood bread dough bowl that I have. So I'm gonna let them dry, and then I will show you how they look once they're all arranged in my bowl. Okay, so that's it. Here are all my faux cement pears in this awesome wood bowl that I have. I love how they look. They look perfect sitting on my kitchen island. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and make sure you subscribe for more videos. Bye!